Hare Krishna, my dear devotees. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So I thought to read a short
Why don't you have to speak closer to the mic and project your voice a little bit?
a short segment from my new book, Dancing White Elephants, Traveling with Srila Prabhupada in India, August 1970 to March 1972, because it describes a very significant exchange that I had with Srila Prabhupada, in which he basically gave me the blueprint for my whole life in Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada received the latest issue of Back to Godhead, which included an article I had written in Boston, my first, called the Genuine Spiritual Master. And he called for me. The room was dimly lit. Only some narrow shafts of light pierced through the slim openings in the wooden shutters along the side. Sitting alone on his raised cushion at the far end of the temple room, Prabhupada was the very image of eternal spiritual master, and his voice resonated with the truth of eternal time. I sat at his feet, eyes and ears wide open. I saw your article in Back to Godhead, he said. It was very nice. You should write. This is your first business. Go on writing. I said, I will try, but why are you asking me? I have no special qualification. And Prabhupada replied, we require many to do this work, and we need you also. So you travel with me, and I will guide you. You come and stay with me. Then Prabhupada asked if I ever thought of getting married. No, I never think of getting married, I replied. And after a moment I added, the only time I ever thought of getting married was when I saw that all the GBCs were married. I thought they were like on a higher level. Prabhupada said, you will never be GBC. It is best to avoid marriage, he continued. Sex desire is like an itch. If you have an itch and you scratch it, it just becomes worse. Similarly, sex desire is there, and if you try to satisfy it, it becomes worse. So it is better to tolerate. Not only sex desire, all the demands of the senses, eating and sleeping also. Better to tolerate. So you remain brahmachari, and after 2 or 3 years, I will give you sannyas. In a matter of 20 minutes, Srila Prabhupada had given me my whole life's program in Krishna consciousness. I was always thinking of Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes at night I couldn't even sleep. I would just be thinking of how wonderful he was. I would stand at the balcony near his room and look out over the surrounding fields at the stars and the bright moon. I was in so much ecstasy that he had read my article and invited me to travel with him. And I felt the awakening in my heart of a type of affection I had never felt before. So, in my experience, Srila Prabhupada was very reserved about touching disciples. But also in Gorakhpur, there was one time, one of the few times, or maybe the only time when he touched me. He wanted to make an altar for the traveling Radha Krishna deities, and he wanted some foliage to decorate the altar. So I went out into the woods, and I was collecting more and more foliage. I kept going deeper into the woods and collecting more and more, and I didn't really know when to stop, but finally I just was carrying as much as I possibly could. And then I came back and I climbed up the stairs, and then at the top I dropped all the foliage on the floor, and Srila Prabhupada smiled very broadly, and he patted me on the back. It was, like I said, maybe the only time that he touched me in that way. And I don't even know if he needed the foliage at that stage, but he was pleased with the effort. And then one other incident that comes to mind, Srila Prabhupada expressed his love for us by giving us the knowledge of Krishna consciousness and engaging us in devotional service. But once I got a glimpse of his love in a different way. Srila Prabhupada had a friend in Bombay named Bogilal Patel, who was 3 years senior to Srila Prabhupada and was extremely pious. When the first devotee met Bogilal Patel in his office and told him about Srila Prabhupada's work, Bogilal Patel just wept profuse tears of happiness and appreciation. So once Bogilal Patel came to meet Srila Prabhupada in Juhu, and because I was cultivating him, I was there for the discussion. And as is natural in a conversation, when Bogilal Patel was speaking, I looked at him, and when Prabhupada was speaking, I looked at him. So I'd go back and forth. When Seth Bogilal was speaking, I'd look at him, and when Srila Prabhupada was speaking, I would look at him. But once, when Bogilal was speaking, I looked at Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada was looking at me with such love and affection, like a doting father, or by age like a grandfather. But as soon as he saw that I was looking at him, he became very grave, and for some reason he didn't want me to see that loving expression, but Krishna made that special arrangement that I could see it, and we want to reciprocate Srila Prabhupada's love. I think of his instruction: your love for me will be shown by how you cooperate to keep this movement together after I depart. And I'm pleased to say that I think that in general the devotees in ISKCON are working cooperatively for the sake of Srila Prabhupada's pleasure, and I think he is pleased. Which reminds me of one other little incident in Gorakhpur, and I'll conclude with this. So one day it was the Disappearance Day of his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Srila Prabhupada, we had a small observance at midday, as is proper procedure, but he wanted us to have a larger program in the evening so members of the Gita Press and others could attend. So in the evening, we were sitting outdoors on the veranda honoring prasad, and Srila Prabhupada's servant, Nanda Kumar Prabhu, came down with some of Srila Prabhupada's remnants, and he said that Srila Prabhupada had made two comments. One, my Guru Maharaj is very pleased with you all. And two, the feast was so good I could not control my senses. So, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.